Hey guys, this is Dartamos with Dartamos Dominions. I'm here with RCK. How are you doing, RCK?
Good. Finally was able to make it back.
Yeah, welcome back, dude. I know that you've been gathering all these turns for us, and you've been watching nearly all of them, correct?
Yep. I do keep up with them.
Now we're a bit behind at this point. We almost caught up at one point, but now I think we're about 20 turns behind the current game, and so it's going to be hard not to give spoilers because these wars have implications, and we just hit one of the wars, which is Asphodel versus Abyssia. Real quick, do you want to read that first paragraph?
All right. Elfing someone is always a big moment because it tends to succeed or fail so hard. We shall see if his PD is enough. If I manage to take most and stealth attack targets, Abizia will have to slog slow units around, recapturing while hidden troops are all over.
Do you agree with that statement?
I really do, and I feel for most stealthy nations, it's that first turn of the attack that really matters. Especially for games like I'm sure Gaslov would definitely agree with us because he plays a lot of Vanaheim, and I think it's that initial hit that will either take away so much income and just kind of put that player out of whack. I think that's a really big hit to people, even a morale hit, honestly.
Yeah, and but the part that I'm kind of curious about is like Xana is kind of a better, he's a pretty decent player, and I think that he can go with maybe a couple sacreds and a leader, and just retake all these provinces rather than sending his whole army. So I don't, do you get what I'm saying? Like I don't know if that
Yeah,
second part is entirely true, but at the same time that's going to reduce from his larger army.
yeah. And at the same time, you don't know if there's something still waiting there or not.
Well, yeah, that's true. Abyssia, though, I mean, I think they could probably take anything that Asphodel can stealth in there, with very little. I mean, in this Asphodel Abyssia matchup, do you think that who do you think has kind of the edge in this?
Um, At first, normally I would say since Asphodel has got this elfing off, that he would be in the better position. But at the same time, it'd be really tough for him to really take any straight up fights against Abizia.
My thing that I think is going to really pay off to see who wins this is going to be who hits if Abyssia can get their spell, like their what they're aiming for their research goals, because if they don't, they've got so many holes in this mega bless that it doesn't have any resistances. He's going to be relying on his mages to cover those. Do you think he'll have that?
That's true. I honestly don't remember what research targets he's hit at this point in the game or what he was planning on going for. But I mean, I know that he has, high fire mages, and even something here that Asphodel worries about is going to be the size 6 fire elementals that he can throw out for just one gem apiece. Because most of his higher end mages, I mean, they're going to be 3 or 4 fire, so they can do a couple of those castings every turn. And I honestly don't think Asphodel is going to have anything to answer that.
Yeah, and that's the bread and butter too. So let's go to the second paragraph. The real determinant of the war will be likely on his fort. I'm attacking with a large quantity of mannequins, but I'm not shy with mages either. Lots of hordes of skeletons, foul vapors, anti-flying cav scripts on some of the undead to get in the way. You'd think I was Satis, though it wouldn't surprise me if Sack goes and slave mine somewhat early instead. Do you want to grab that last paragraph, dude?
Yeah. No PR on Abizia means that while fire elementals will still hurt me a lot, well, PR means poison resistance. Foul Vapors places his army on a harsh timer. Trading mannequins for mages and lava warriors is a trade I will take, and one I'm sure Abizia wants no part of it. Since I'm guessing, I mean, mannequins are essentially just free spawn chaff,
Yeah.
and he's gonna have to pay pay cash for his troops anyway. And says, "We'll see how it goes. However, best case is I win the big fight on the fort and elf most of all the other provinces. Worst case, I lose everything. Be interesting turn."
So I do know, that this is going to be a really good fight with highs and lows. And what I want to see is how he can deal with, like you said, the 1 gem fire elementals. Because mannequins have a 0 range attack, 2 of them, and no fire resist. I mean, the mannequins is nice, but fire elementals win. So let's see if there are any fights worth watching here. Okay, so he does run into some lava warriors here, but not a huge deal. Just some counter raiding and raiding by Airmore. He's at war with Mictlan at the same time. Another PD hit. Okay, so were you here during the PD discussions?
No, I don't think I was.
Okay, so Airmore has been putting down 10 to 20 PD in their provinces. And how do you feel towards that?
You see, I'm actually playing in 2 games as Irma right now, and we've gone into a late game, and I've killed a couple of players, actually. But the only times I can ever justify putting maybe 10 PD into something, and that's as high as I would ever go. Because other than that, I would only put 1 PD in places. And the only times I'd put 10 PD is, say, if it's a farmland that doesn't have my Dominion in it. Or other places like that, or kind of like on the very edge. Because I think in one of my games, like I have a water province that gives me like 200 gold, and I put like 10 PD in it just to reduce that unrest. And like I've probably had it for 10 turns now, and there's still no Dominion in it. So it really depends. I would only do it if I know I don't have any Dominion in it yet, and there's kind of high unrest where it will kind of pay off in the end. Because if there is unrest in a province, especially a high income province, and you get rid of it, that will increase the income. But now, if I just took someone's land away from them, and we were in the middle of a war, and they knew that, or if I knew that they were going to come back and take it, I'd only leave 1 PD just to see what they had. I wouldn't PD dump.
Yeah, what I find really interesting, I think that he might have listened, has the same idea with you, and is leaving PD where there is a solid amount of like where there's good income, and his Dominion isn't there yet. And what's interesting is that he's caught a couple Cetician, some Cetis forces, and he's won because of his PD. And so it actually turned out where, initially I was, very critical until he started killing things.
Well, then they made up for it then. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. So we get to see the Asphodel force here, which is, he was talking about using mages. I don't know what he has in reserve. Do you?
18 Dryad Hags. That's a lot.
These are not cheap units.
I wonder if that's just like almost his whole research core at this point in the game. Because those might be recruit anywhere, but at the same time, that's a lot. That's a lot of gold. That's a lot of castle turns.
Yeah, and it's all of his research. And he needs to get his research he needs to keep getting his research up, because the higher he goes, the more options he has against Asphodel. And to me, the difference between him winning or losing against Asphodel is going to be 100% on the magic side.
Yeah.
He can't rely on my troops will be better. They're not. They're free spawn. They're trash free spawn. They're the worst free spawn in the game, in my opinion. So, it's kind of interesting what's going on here. Okay, so it looks like I think that we're going to see a better idea of what. Hey, we got money. A better idea from this screen right here to see what has happened to Abyssia. So he jumped on the fort, obviously a 1-turn break, and I think that if I'm correct, he's just pulling back these troops, and he's what it was there was a question as to whether Asphodel would go to this province or this one, and it looks like he jumped on this side fort. My question for you, why did he go there and not just go for the cap? Does he think he can't win?
It could be he could have some doubt at this point in the game, depending on what magic, like we said, what magic research he has. Because I mean, if he pushed for the cap at this point and he didn't know if Abizia either had the magic research or not, I mean, he could pull every mage he has for a last effort thing, and if he blew him out the water there, I mean, that's it. That's all Asphodel had. I mean, I would have at least tried to scout some more. Definitely tried to figure out what magic he had because I would have been watching the Nabah and the Vizia fight for a little while. I don't know if he might have the scouts over there. I know he has like flying scouts, and there's a black harpy there. Um, so it's questionable, but I can definitely understand why he's wanting to go for the forts. I could say that there could be a argument for going for that throne right beside it as well instead first, But
Yeah, no, that I agree with. I guess it doesn't give him anything of amazingness, but at the same time, it is a throne. I mean, it is what is his goal in this? Is he going to try to? Do you think he's going to try to take all of Abyssia, or is this just like a border skirmish?
I mean, almost at this point, it looks like he's all in. Seeing the army that he's brought, as many mages as he's brought, I think he's all in at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he still at least has a mage back here, but there's nothing. Yeah. Okay, so there's. It looks like he still does have research up and going. He somehow still has money, and he still is to some extent okay. But yeah, I mean, this definitely looks like an all in here. 18 Dryad Hags. I mean, if he loses this army, I don't think he can come back from this. So he better win. Now, I mean, are you thinking that Abyssia is going to be counterattacking soon, or how do you think that this is going to work?
It depends on how many mages he actually has in the surrounding armies there, because I think that large one to the north is that. I think that might be his largest army, because I don't really see anything anywhere else.
I think you're right.
So he
Okay.
might just go for fighting them because between what he has at the cap right there in between that bridge and that army in the north, I mean that could be his entire army right there.
Let's see. I'm working on getting through turns faster. Hooray! Okay, so Mictlan has given us a message. Do you want to read this one off for me?
All I want is a bit more research before handling the stupid undead guy. He says, honestly, I just joined the coalition against him so that I could maybe expand northward. I can understand that. Even if dead territory, he'd get a lot of gems. I feel like he could be. I wouldn't say. How do I want to put this? It would be nice if they still had population for his gold, but also gems would be very valuable to Mictlan at this time. I'll go ahead and read that last part. So I was also kind of hoping just to grab a few provinces and not have to fight at all, but alas, I get a random ragtag undead group chilling in the random provinces. He says he can intercept them in any provinces if he needs so, losing 40 gold a turn. Okay. So he's talking about him starting the war and stuff.
I don't necessarily agree with him. I think he should have pieced out with Airmore. I mean he isn't the one that is going to win the war. If anybody's going to win the war, it's going to be Relay or Satis is going to be in an eternal war against Airmore. The big thing is just to try to I wonder if he could have even negotiated provinces off of Airmore, but I don't think Novell. I think Novell's really.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I think he's very my precious about his provinces.
Which I would be the same way.
I mean, it seems to be working out for him too. I mean, he's got an army down here against Mictlan to deal with him. Okay. The Elfing was mostly a success, though I expect that he'll counterattack soon. This is several hundred of gold per turn damage to him until he retakes it. You're up, dude.
It seems he piled material from his throne or to his adjacent province into the fort and wanted to see my scripting first. Interesting. It says, I expect he will break siege and attack the adjacent fort troops this turn, though there are a small chance he evaluates that he can't handle foul vapors and abandons it. His troops are significantly better quality, but between Earth Mail and Sleep Cloud and 100+ extra skeletons from the mages casting quarter skeletons, okay. Didn't really think about that, but that is a good reason why he brought so many mages.
Yes.
Says I think foul vapors can kill fast enough. It's tough to argue that foul vapors can kill fast enough because that is definitely like a long-term battlefield spell. Because I don't know, I feel like it'd take a long time. But I mean, having that much chaff would be nice, but you also have to put in consideration the heat aura from his troops.
The thing I'm looking at is that, you know, if you cast 100 skeletons, I'd rather have one fire elemental than 10 skeletons. So that means he just needs 10 elementals, and he's solid. That's not even counting the troops. It's, you know, the poison or the foul vapors play really requires a longer fight. That being said, if he doesn't have poison resist, even a win is going to end up crippling whatever goes in there.
Now, I honestly think this would be a great setup against anybody but Abizia, to be honest.
I do agree. I think he should have went after Mictlan. I think he would have had a better shot. But at the same time, I look at it and I say Mictlan should have gone after Asphodel, you know, as well. So
yeah, that's true.
It's kind of an interesting global geopolitical situation.
Yeah.
Here. In Hostile Land, the bull is not a solo combatant, but since he can cast Earth Meld at 1/7 the usual fatigue, once Earth Power is up, it can hold up a lot of enemy units. Anything that it stalls from moving is useful for foul vapors, which I agree with him. I just, if he doesn't hit this turn, it's very possible that Zan's waiting for a research goal, which is something that I didn't think of. Because that you know, the foul vapors, the poison resist, I don't know how far in it is. I mean, where is poison resist at?
Enchantment 5, I believe. I think it's the same time. You get it the same time you get Horde of Skeletons, I think.
Okay. So yeah, Relay's saying that they're going to try to attack Airmore. We have reached Thaumaturgy 3. Hooray. Okay, so Abyssia has taken back some of their provinces, and it looks like Abyssia has kind of gotten an idea of where Asphodel is going to attack. Oh, this is shiny.
I wonder what he was casting. I wonder if it was Swarm or Horde of Skeletons.
So he just comes in. Oh, and it's twice born too, so he wants it to die.
Yeah, he wouldn't be too upset about it.
I mean, when these guys come back out, okay, it's a nature. Okay, so he wants the nature 4 twice born for some reason. I mean, I don't really know where it's going with that. I like the Earth ones because the guys that you get from the twice born version of these are amazing thugs. I wonder if I still have some of my tests from that because they are disgustingly good. Okay. And this is what I kind of was expecting to happen, where he goes over with a handful of troops and just wrecks face. Okay, Nabah hits a turtle chief. No, not Water Indies. And once again, we have a PD dump. And, I mean, this is a lot of gold lost for Airmore, and Mictlan gets it for almost free. Where are his priests?
Who's Mictlan's?
Yeah.
I think he's got some Holy Threes in there. I think those High Priests are Holy Threes.
Okay, so he's got a couple Holy Threes. Yeah, these are all Holy Threes.
Holy Threes. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's fair enough. Okay, and then we go down into more Asphodel attacks. He looks like this is a raid. Nabha, I guess, maybe they're still at war. Oh, okay, hold on. We have a fight. I didn't expect a fight, I'm going to be honest. Wait, this is not it. Gosh darn it.
There we go. That's the one on the fort. Okay, so he stormed it. Okay.
Ooh, wait, that's personal poison resistance, right? It's not actually poison resisting seeing somebody else, correct?
Yeah, that's personal.
Okay. What is this guy? So
I don't know. I don't actually. know what that is. I wonder if it's a hero or something. We have worthy heroes on.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a hero or if you just occasionally. I mean, if you occasionally get these guys through, that'd be amazing. I don't think so though. I really don't. Okay, and then what's this guy doing? Summon imps.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I guess there's
fire
nothing
elemental.
else. And then okay, so we've got another Felly caster up here. I'm really kind of surprised he didn't put more onto here, but at the same time, he might have thought poison resist was just gonna poison resist.
Well, you have to think each fire elemental, the fatigue cost on him for a fire level 3 is 100. So he's already fatigued out right now.
Yep. Hey, Geldavir, how are you doing, dude?
I am here to contribute while I eat.
We're watching Fellies versus Asphodel Crap Chaff. There's
not enough fire elementals, and the fire elementals are behind everyone else.
And there's also a poison, a foul vapors cast up, and the only guy with any foul, like any poison resist, is this dude here. That being said, that's all you kind of need. You just need one commander.
Yeah.
But look at this. I mean, nothing is dying up here. Wow. And now they just go in and kill themselves. And what's funny, he was talking about how his White Bull is not a very great, a great combatant in this. Somehow or another, he took a point of damage. I wonder if a little bit of a 30 poisoners. I don't know how this happened, but somehow he got yeah, he's enraged. Yeah, he's gone berserk.
Huh. I'm not sure.
And this is hilarious. Okay, so they finally do kill him somehow. And let's see what the toll is for this.
Yeah.
What do you think? Was it? I mean, that's 20 lava warriors. In the majority of crappy chaff, no mages lost here, and it looks like 5 mages lost on the other end. Who do you think won this one? Realdevere, who do you think won this?
1 second.
RCK, we'll let you get your thoughts in first, and then we'll go back to Galdavir. What do you think, RCK?
Abizia definitely took the gold hit on this one, but what it did to Asphodel's army, he's going to have to retreat if he plans on sieging down any more forts.
What do you think, Galdavir?
I agree with RCK. I mean, he lost 2 mages. Lost 4 mages, and the experiment that's going to be worth it in just gold on top of the lava warriors. But without a second, unless Asphodel has a second army to come up behind this one in order to keep pushing on, this army is dead in the water because there's not enough chaff to screen for the mages, and there won't be enough chaff to break down a fortress.
Yeah, I feel like he could have gotten out of this with a little bit cheaper. I mean, all he needed was this wolf tribe dude, and then I'm like, this warlock does not need to be there. The experiment, I don't believe, needs to be there. I think just between these like 4 mages here, he could have gotten these 3 mages here, I think he could have just done just fine. Loading them up with fire gems, and I don't think he got anything of worth. And I think that this one definitely, like you guys said, I think it's kind of. It's a point for Asphodel, but at the same time, they did lose a lot of chaff. And I'm curious if he split up his chaff or not. And it looks like he did not. It looks like the majority of his army. What does Asphodel do now? Galdavir, I'm sorry, RCK, go ahead. RCK, what do you think he's going to do now? I mean, does he just stall out and wait until more chaff get formed back at home?
I think you just need to fall back and regroup, because he's pretty much started taking back. He probably took back about half the province you elfed. I see at least 2 down there in the south. That Centaur army, it's okay. He's took 2 over there from the on the east side. I mean, you can obviously tell he's going to be fine with anti-raiding. And he's pulling back his main army now that he doesn't have to deal with Nabah. So it's going to look a little rough.
Yeah, he's inside here. And I think that they're still at war, dude. I think that these two are both at war, and I think this is the point where they might go to peace. Simply because Fascia has a big old army here. So let's move into the next turn and see what happens. I'm really kind of interested to see if there is a big fight between Naba, in that I somehow missed this. Okay, there's nothing between there's nothing between Abyssia and Naba. So that war looks like it's over. Oh, there we go. Ha! Galdavir, do you want to catch this one?
Sure. Peace with Naba, 200 gold per turn for 3 turns, and they get to keep province 39. Any lead I might have had was destroyed thanks to Asphodel's attack. I really had no intention of ever going to war with him, and I hope my Diplo reflected that, but it looks like he was convinced, and I was in existential threat plotting his demise, and this was the best chance he was going to have. If I lose the game but have destroyed Asphodel, I will lose happily. Too long, didn't read. Peace with Naba, so I can focus destroying Asphodel for disrupting my momentum.
RCK, do you have you given gold per turn or gold reparations after a war before?
I might have. I don't remember. Normally, whenever I go to war, that's it. Either you're gonna knock me out of the game, or I'm gonna knock you out of the game.
It looked like he was about to get hammered by Naba, though, and even if he won the fight, I still don't think he would have gotten any land. But 600 gold is, I mean, that's rough. That's a lot of money.
I don't know what the negotiations were for that, but 600 gold is a ridiculous amount when you're fighting a war where you've constantly lost provinces and trading provinces. Because if you want to keep your reputation outside of the game, you have to pay that regardless of whether or not you could use that gold to maybe win a war. Because 200 gold per turn is the difference between 1 extra mage in a communion to push you up in order to win a fight.
It's like it's the same as losing 3 mages, which I guess is not terrible. If you look at it that way, I mean, I'm sure Abyssia would have probably lost more than 3 mages, so it's probably worth it in that regards.
Yeah, whenever I try to do gold over a set amount of turns, I always try to do as little gold as possible per turn, just so it's the least economically impactful. Like for 600 gold, I would have tried to push that down to 100 over 6 turns. Or if I could swing it, I probably wouldn't have traded gold at all. I probably would have traded some items or maybe like 1 or 2 gems.
Yeah, gems seems like it would have been a better trade in my opinion. I think you're right. Okay, so RCK, can you grab this one?
Yep. This is for Fascia. There's one little hiccup that I may run into during my current invasion of Naba is that most of my mages do not have vanilla sailing built in. So I require dark sails to move them from one province in my dominion to another. That's going to be rather difficult for him.
Yeah.
Especially since he just started a war with Naba. And it says, and I think this is something Omni can't see. Yeah, because I mean, all Dominion just looks red. I can't tell the difference between Dominion. Can't see, but as of right now, there are no candles over Naba Coast. That's rough.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, at the same time, he still has the provinces in the south that I think he could just attack out from the south. Okay, the one that keeps... Yes. Okay. That is brilliant. Okay, let's look at the fights. We have Asphodel lost some more Centaur warriors, and at this point he's lost about 30 of these guys, and that's starting to add up a bit. I mean, he's taking horrendous losses for a low-income nation. I mean, do you think that this has been, RCK, like, do you think that this was actually, like, worth it? Or do you think the rating was worth it considering how much he's lost?
I feel like the initial rating was. After Abyssia has kind of got an idea of what's going on, it's definitely kind of went downhill. I'm not sure on how economically powerful Asphodel is at the moment, because if you remember, he did take Dominion 2, and I mean he took Growth 3 as well for the amount of chaff you can get for it. But I mean, he's only going to preach up his dominion in only forest, so it makes me wonder. I mean, what's he actually sitting at? We'd have to go to the graphs to see his income or what it is compared to other people.
Yeah, let me go check that in just a second. Okay, so I think he put 4 fire gems on, and at the end he had 2 fire gems. So this is either 1 or 2 gems worth of for 300 gold worth of Asphodelian, or 350 gold of Asphodelian troops. I think that I would take that. Let's go look at the score graphs and see what his income is at.
At this point, I think Abizia was one of the game leaders.
It looks like they're middle of the pack. Actually, they're really low.
I was talking about for provinces.
Oh, for provinces, yeah. They are the dark green one. Nope, that one. Oh yeah, you're right. They are one of the highest province count. Wow, that really amazes me. I assumed that Asphodel had a higher province count.
Well, you see, Abizia was in the front until Asphodel elfed him, and you can see the giant curves in both of those 2 lines.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to be Zan starting to take back his provinces.
And I don't see him. I mean, I don't see Zan having a problem taking back his provinces. I mean, if he can do this with where he kills 10 guys with with 1 fire gem or 2 fire gems, I don't see Asphodel's raiding going very well. He's gonna eventually just run out of raiders. Okay, so let's look at the other battles for this turn. See if there's anything else of note. It looks like this was a boring turn. Okay, so Fascia has landed all along the coast. Wait, is this?
No, that's Nabah. I took it back.
Nabah has taken all of these provinces back. Was this a big fight? So Nabah wants to fight. This is where his army was last time. Okay, who's
Well, I mean, he doesn't have to worry about Abizia anymore, so he can put his full force on the Fascia.
Oh, by the way, did you see this right here? This was really cute. He took this so that Nabah can't come down and attack Asphodel, I think. Okay. I guess, yeah, we'll do one more turn. 26.
If I was Fascia, I would have tried to crack that fort as the very first thing, get a very firm, secure beachhold, and definitely a place where I can temple up, because that was the only possible way that he's able to move his troops out over the seas without using the mage pilots, or no, not the mage pilots, but their normal sailing one, because those just aren't good leaders, and I believe they can only hold 30 regular sized troops, if I remember right.
Yeah, you're right, and that was he was the one that started this fight. When you start the fight, I think Asphodel had the right idea, even though he lost a lot of troops to do it. You hit hard in a way that can make concrete gains, and that you can base farther campaigns based on your initial gains. And Fascia seemed to have picked up random provinces that will be taken back, which is I think you're right in that regards, dude. Let's see if there were any cool battles this turn. Oh my! Okay, we have a glyph drop. Now, these guys usually don't have a lot of hit points, correct?
I actually don't know. I've never used them as a pretender before.
I watched this one with Zan. Zan showed me this one. So he gets Fire Shield, Astral Shield, and Howl.
This is gonna hurt.
And
this is Asphodel's main army.
Okay, if you see, the glyph is taking damage, and a lot of damage on top of it. He's down to 82 hit points, 67.
Did he Phoenix Fire?
I don't think so. He's at 2 hit points right here, dude.
I don't know. He might have. I'm not entirely sure.
2 hit points.
He's got luck. Is he regenning health?
What ring does he have on him?
He does. He has 20% regeneration. He got all the way down to 2 health. Remember, Abyssia went Hellbless. Everything that is in Abyssia's kit is in this glyph. If it died, Abyssia would be significantly hampered because of this.
Check and see what the bless is again. I remember it was Awe and Fate Weaving and something else.
Fate Weaving Awe with Bard Skin. 2 hit points, dude.
The only hit point that matters is luck.
That's true. I think you're right. At the same time, he yeah, that was close.
It was a ballsy play. I mean, on the bright side though, he got
definitely paid off.
He got the pan. He got all of his chaff. I mean, this is Asphodel's army, and Asphodel's just dead in the water. There's no way that Asphodel can push or continue his offensive without this army behind.
How expensive for those mages? They're like 165 gold a piece, I think. I think the pan is like almost 300, I believe.
And we have part 2 because it was a magic-based attack. Okay. This time, I think with the rain, the fire shield. Does rain affect fire shield?
I think it just makes it so the fatigue of the spell is more.
I mean, maybe that would have made a difference. Okay.
It would stop him from doing his double casting because he's innate casters, but innate casters continue to cast spells even while they're fatigued out.
Are they really? Okay. Okay, so they lost this one, or so they lost a bunch of chaff, but nothing as big as that first bit. He did lose 2 Mound Kings, which are death gems, which seems like that might be a hit. I don't know.
It's not 6.
So going back to this one, guys, because I'm sorry I interrupted you. How big of a loss is this for Asphodel? Are they coming back from this?
It's a big loss. Check how much those dryad tags cost. I think it's 165 or no 255. Never mind. Oof. That's a lot of gold.
I mean, what do you do in a case like this as Asphodel? Do you peace out? What exactly are you going to do at this point?
I don't think that Abyssia would take a piece because Abyssia just wrecked shop over here, and then he has to suspect very strongly that Asphodel doesn't have anything else left. Mostly just because you saw this army get bopped. You saw the chaff that was being led by the bull get knocked out, and so Abyssia's got him thinking, all right, I have momentum going on behind him, and then if Asphodel turns around to Abyssia and asks, hey, look, man, it was just a prank, all right? Some people died. No one really lost anything. Let's just call it peace, and then we'll just go back and be friends. It's like, if I was Abyssia, I would push hard.
Yeah, at this point, Asphodel just lost over 2,000 gold in that one fight alone.
This is nuts to me. Like how he's got all these mages here. I mean, should he have expected the divine glyph?
I wouldn't have saw it coming.
I mean, he should have scouts on or near Abyssia. I mean, he doesn't have expensive scouts, and I mean, that's kind of the valuable information. This guy's been around since turn 1. You know what his paths are from the bless, but I mean, the fire shield, like the fire. I mean, I don't. That's one of the things I see is Asphodel has a problem is they have a problem killing things, and he doesn't have any thugs. I think a single thug could have wrecked this divine glyph.
No.
Look at what this divine glyph has in ways of defense. We'll go all the way to the very end here. He's got fire shield. That's how he's killing things. Astral shield and howl. 10 protection, 6 defense skill. That's all he's got.
If it was a thug that was specifically designed to kill this one, I would still put it at 60-40 in favor of the glyph, if only just because with this current script that he has, he'll have a howl up, and howl will gum up it will gum up a single thug that is designed to kill a single unit instead of an army killer. And then when it goes off script, he'll have Astral 7, Fire 7, Nature 6. With S7, he can do Paralyze and Mind Burn and Soul Slay if the scripting or if the Dominion AI decides to be smart. With Fire 7, you can do Immolate and you can do Fireball and Detonate if he has the evocation for it. And then Nature 6 doesn't really have a whole lot, but you can do Poison Strike or a couple of other ones if the thug actually ever gets close. And then the fact that it has regen and lucky, that thug has to pop through the luck on top of it while being in melee range, to where you can still get hit with Immolate. So if you were going to anti-thug for this guy, you have to have high fire resistance, high magic resistance, and a weapon to clear out AoE if you're going up against the Howl.
I would say you need the fire resistance ring, which you're going to need anyways. I mean, you're going against Abyssia. If you bring a thug against Abyssia without a fire ring, you're gonna die anyways. Other than that, I'd put in 2 stingers, just in case he has anything that because you're going to be fighting his sacreds anyways. You get him something with high, like a black steel plate chest, which isn't that hard. And I'm pretty sure it'd be kind of interesting. I think he'd be fine against their sacreds as well. And you put it on one of the pans that has been killed, the Twiceborn pans, and the double stinger should be able to deal with the wolves. And whatever it doesn't, I think that you've got your other troops to deal with it too. I don't think you could solo put a thug in, but because it's going to be magic phase. But you just keep a thug along with the army, something with. Let's be honest. A single guy with a GSS right here would have killed this.
I wouldn't have used Great Sword of Sharpness. I would have used the Moonblade.
That works too. I don't think he has Moonblade up.
True.
GSS is early enough along that I figure like a Construction 2 GSS would work. I mean, but even if you don't want to, dual stingers would work. In fact, I do dual stingers because they're range 3. That way the astral shield does near nothing to you. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like Pan has the tools to deal with these shenanigans either way. But probably not anymore. Okay, so I think we are finished with this episode. Geldavir, thank you so much for joining up with me.
No problem. Always a pleasure, Dartibus.
RCK, thanks again for joining up.
Yeah, I'm glad I can make it.
And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.